Hey everyone, Walt with Flower City Cards back again. I know it's been a while, it's been about 2 to 3 weeks, but we've been knee deep in a move. We got another couple weeks to go, but you can see behind me, everything's kind of like in the process of being packed up or already packed and ready to leave. So it's been a process and a lot has been going on, but it's all good things. And we're excited to get into the new home where we can really hit the ground running with everything in the hobby and just kind of get settled in. That being said, today's theme is just keep on keeping on, right? We got a lot of news, a lot of things are happening. 30th anniversary, Pitch Black's coming out in July. We got PSA shutting their doors to bulk submissions, and basically anything I think below $80 per card, which is pretty crazy. Tags shutting their doors. Other companies are probably going to be following suit soon. So a lot of things are happening, right? A lot of just uncertainty, craziness. People don't know left from right, up from down, and they're all trying to speculate and figure out what do we I guess what kind of sense do we make from all of this? Like where are we going? What's going to happen? We have the 30th anniversary coming up. We're hearing mixed reviews. So today's video, I'm gonna try to not make this a super long one, but I did want to at least get something out there to you guys because it has been a couple weeks. But let's start out with Pitch Black's coming out in July. Chaos Rising just came out recently. Funny enough, before we get into Pitch Black, we've already been starting to see invoices and booster boxes shipped for Chaos Rising Wave 2. So it's kind of funny because, as our membership base knows in the supply network, we don't even have booster boxes for Wave 2 of Perfect Order. And that set came out a while ago. So I'm not really sure what's going on with that, but it sounds like there should be some motion, and we should be getting Wave 2 of Perfect Order booster boxes sometime around release of Pitch Black. So they're basically two sets back when it comes to Perfect Order and getting all that product out. So pretty interesting. But we are at least not seeing that issue trickle into Chaos Rising. We should be getting all that product hopefully in the next couple weeks, and we should have all that product out the door hopefully by the end of June. But we'll see how things go. There's always things that pop up with distribution and everything in the supply chain. So stay tuned for that. But Pitch Black, really just following suit. I would say like if we take a look at like the whole Mega Evolution block so far and ignore Ascended Heroes because it's a Black Swan event and completely different set, specialty set. But if we look at Mega Base, Phantasmal Flames, Perfect Order, Chaos Rising, and Pitch Black, out of those five sets, right? Mega Base is probably the most complete, larger type set that has more chases and just has more going for it, right? And that I'm not like trying to take anything away from the other sets, but the other sets, it seems like Pokemon is shifting towards smaller sets. It makes sense. This is probably just an effort for them to kind of get in front of the supply issue that we have going on here. Smaller sets means that they can print more of it because they have less cards to print on the sheets through their production process. So it just makes sense. And it's hard to tell. Like, are they just gonna, for the Mega Evolution block, just kind of have sets that are centered around one or two chases, and then have some really good like IR chases, a gold card in each set, and maybe that's just the formula going forward, and we'll see how that progresses as we move into the 10th generation, which will be after the 30th anniversary. I'm not entirely sure when that drops or how long the Mega Block will be, but it seems like we're going to get a Rayquaza set. So it'll probably be like a Rayquaza chase, maybe one other card, and then it'll kind of drop off the table in terms of like the depth of the sets like we've seen in these last four. So stay tuned for that. It's going to be interesting to see how they progress, but going back to the main message of this video is like just keep on keeping on, right? Like I looked at Chaos Rising and I said, hey, I want to pick up a couple cases of booster boxes. I'm going to put them to the side and I'm not going to look back, right? I'm just going to put them on the shelf. I'm going to keep on trying to accumulate product where I can of the S tier type products, which for me is just the booster boxes for the mainline sets. I don't really touch the booster bundles. I don't touch the ETBs. I'm not an ETB guy. I'm just going to stick to the booster boxes because as of late, it seems like the trend for Pokemon has been they do not touch the booster boxes after that initial Wave 1, Wave 2 print. And it's going to be that way until it's not, right? And they may hammer booster boxes, you just don't know. But if we look at the number of cards they've printed, which that's another topic, they came out with the numbers, they've actually been trending down over the last 2 years. So it's going to be interesting to see after that new production facility comes up, where they sign the largest lease in North America, I think is what it's called, um, where you know it's just really going to be interesting to see and how much additional capacity they're really going to be able to add here. So stay tuned for that. But I'm just going to keep on keeping on. Right, that's the general theme of today. We're going through the summer months. People are going to be busy and preoccupied with other things. The hobby generally takes a little bit of a step back in the form of just less hype, less attention. I know we're going to get some more attention as we approach the 30th anniversary, but that's technically in the fall. So over the next 2 to 3 months, like we're gonna have Pitch Black. There may be some other ancillary products that'll drop, but for the most part, it's gonna be a pretty tame and calm summer. I really don't foresee a ton of swirl until we get to the 30th anniversary, and until that time comes, I think it's just gonna be kind of status quo and business as usual. So, just keep on keeping on, keep doing what you're doing. And as we get into the fall, winter months, that's when the hobby really starts to pick up again. Kids go back to school, students go back to school, people go back inside. There's people are taking fewer vacations, they have more money. We get into tax season. That's just the cycle and the way these things work. So that being said, Pitch Black, talked about that. I think it's going to be a good set. It's going to be just like Chaos Rising. Perfect Order is the weaker one. I would say, like, there's Phantasmal Flames, there's probably Chaos Rising, Pitch Black, and then there's Perfect Order. If I had to rank all four of those sets, that tend to be in kind of the similar bucket. Looking forward to the 30th anniversary. I think it's going to be, probably printed into oblivion. They've probably already been printing it. It might already be done printing because all this stuff takes time to print, and especially on the scale that they're doing. I think that I want to say. I mean, I think when I say I think, I'm saying I'm hoping it's available, like readily available all over the place because. Do I think it's going to be? Probably not, but I'm hoping it is because I do think it eventually we need to get back to some kind of point where kids and parents are able to go to stores and just pick up product, right? And I have started to see some of that, right? I went into we have like a local CVS. I had to go pick up some meds. I had to pick up some stuff for like toiletries and stuff like that. And like there was Chaos Rising on the shelf. There was Perfect Order on the shelf. There were single packs, right? So we're starting to see some of these sets. Like before that, I was not seeing anything, right? You could not find anything from like Phantasmal forward. Now I'm starting to see. I've seen Perfect Order a couple times. I even saw Perfect Order at like a Staples. I went to go drop off at a UPS access point some packages, and they had a full display of Perfect Order right behind the counter, right? So what Pokemon is doing, I think, is actually having a positive impact on the market. No, the prices are not as crazy, and that might not be good for certain people in their business model, but for accessibility and the ability for people to actually get their hands on products, we're finally starting to see it, right? I feel like they finally cracked some sort of mixture of formula here where we're actually able to go into stores and start to just like the casuals are able to just pick up packs. And not only that, but like these packs, no, they're not the strongest sets, and that's reflective of the price, but you're still able to chase $1, $2, $3, $400 chase. Like there's still something to hit in these packs. So I think that what they're doing is the right thing right now, especially through all this craziness. Whether or not this continues, we'll see. But I just wanted a little bit of a tangent there. It is nice to see. It's refreshing to see. I can walk into a store and there's going to be something on the shelf. Maybe let's say 50% of the time now. Like every other time I go to a store or something, there's something on the shelf, and it's just good to see. It's good to see for the hobby because that's how I enjoyed it, right? And I know now it's like e-commerce and you can go online and you can buy things, but Man, it was so fun back in the day, like driving around different stores, looking at like different card shops, see what they had. Like that's how I really enjoyed it, and in different ways, right? With my parents, with my grandma, right? Like those were fun times. I really enjoyed those. Those were some really really cool memories, and I just hope that those memories can continue to be built for the kids today. And I think that's happening, just in a little bit of a different way. But going back to 30th anniversary, and what sparked that tangent, I really hope that that's going to continue. Unfortunately, I think there's obviously going to be, if you see some 30th anniversary on the shelf, somebody's going to come in, somebody's going to buy it all. It is what it is, right? It's just how it is. So I'm really hoping they just, I don't know. I think the 30th anniversary is going to be on the smaller side, just like Celebrations. And when Celebrations came out, right, the singles, there was only a short period of time where there was like any sort of grading play or singles play. Like you could basically open up a case of ETBs and almost complete the set. Like you could truly, and I know because I was there through it, and um it was fun. Like it was awesome pulling like the base set Charizard, pulling like the Zekrom, the Reshiram Full Arts from Black and White, pulling like the Birthday Pikachu, the Magikarp, the Blastoise, the Venusaur, like all these cards like it. But what comes with that is a lower value, and that's fine. But like, you know, it's it's what needs to happen in order for the product to actually reach the hands of the end consumers. Uh, I would say more quickly and at a better price, right? And if people aren't paying rip and shippers 10, 15, $20 on release week for these packs, then we're not going to really see that same kind of effect. And hindsight's 2020. We can estimate, we can predict all we want, but nobody really knows the future. Nobody knows how it's gonna how it's gonna go. Nobody has preliminary numbers, and some people might. I mean, you know, I'm probably way down on in the supply chain, but we tend to get our numbers about a month and a half before release. So you know, I'm sure there's people now who already know the size and the magnitude in which they're printing, and I'm hoping they just print it into oblivion for the sake of the hobby. I really, really do. And that's all we can do is hope that they're going to put it into the ground, and hopefully we see it on shelves. But I say that is more of like a I hope they are, but in reality, I know that's probably not going to happen. So it is what it is. I am excited to chase the Crystal Lugia. I think there was like I think they're already reprinting the Paldea Evolved Magikarp too. I think that's what I heard. Um, and then I think one of the other ones, the other cool ones, it's more nostalgic for me because, and it's not even like nostalgic from the standpoint of like in 2004 when Team Rocket Returns came out. I was there collecting it. That's not at all what I'm saying, but that was one of the cards I was like sourcing, and I bought on Mercari, graded it myself a PSA 10, sold it way too early, and now it's worth like 10, 15K. But like the Dark Tyranitar from Team Rocket Returns, I think, is in that set. So that's going to be one that I'm looking forward to. And then I heard about this, and I haven't looked into the details too much, but they are going to have the Mew and Mewtwo chases, and I heard there's going to be God packs. I don't know, there's different rarities or something like that, but that's going to be really interesting to see. There's going to be a whole other twist on that. So, I guess going back to what I was saying earlier, just the fact that there's going to be a different level of like a God pack or a different rarity that's going to be really, really hard to hit. I guess we're probably just going to be back to Ascended Heroes type hype. Unfortunately, I don't know. Pokemon has a really, really good problem on their hands. And if you ask me, they are probably doing exactly what they want to see happen. I think they're way too smart of a company. They're way too big of a company. And I think everything that's happening today is because they wanted it to happen. This is happening because of what they want to happen. And they're not going to turn the faucet off. The money, right? The printing, the free tendies, whatever you want to call it. They have a product that everybody wants, and they know it. So we'll see how it goes. But I just wanted to give you a quick update today because I know it's been a little while, and I'm gonna go back to my general theme. Like, just keep on keeping on, guys. I know it's tough. Um, who knows when things are gonna shift? But you know, just keep just I don't know. Stick to your goals. Stick to your plan. Continue to buy the things you believe in. Continue to buy the S tier products, the stuff that's going to be good, the stuff that's going to have utility in the future, right? That you can sell to rip and shippers, that you can sell into box breaks, that you can open in the future and enjoy, right? Like those are the types of things you should be investing in. Like don't overextend yourself and just keep moving forward. So that's all I got for today, guys. If you enjoy this kind of content, please consider leaving a like, comment below. Let me know what you're most interested in seeing over the next like 3 months leading up to 30th anniversary, and how do you think 30th anniversary release is going to go? Do you think Pokemon is going to do a better job compared to Ascended Heroes, where they did a staggered release, which I really didn't think was that great of an approach? With the pack prices were just so high for so long, or do you think they're going to kind of dump everything at once and do a little bit better job of just flooding the market? So let me know below. But until next time, I'll see you guys.